Should
Oh,
I go ahead and start the show and you talk a day?
you just started it. Somebody started it.
Well,
Okay. Well, we can't hear Ricky. We're live. Yeah. So, Ricky, you might want to call Sue on the phone because we can't hear you. We be getting strong with it. Hello. We don't know what's going to happen, but what's happening right now is you got me on screen. You can hear me. You can see me. I know it. Unlike last week when I was just like, and you guys can see me. Anyway, I am Ade and I, joining Ricky, who is trying to get back in. So I am occupying space. Ricky, you were just unmuted. You were just unmuted. Yeah. Whatever you just did, it unmuted you. Just a second, well, like 5 seconds ago now. So just bear something about this show. Something about we be strong with it. We be getting strong with it. I guess if you're gonna get strong with something, you have to keep working out. So we're working it out and trusting that we're getting strong with it. and getting strong with it requires trust. It requires surrender, allowance. So anyway, welcome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for tuning in. It's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. And from a human perspective, we can look at this as a technical difficulty. what is what if it's a trust inspiration? So I see Catherine in the house. Marianne is in the house. Quint is in the house. Is that Ray? I didn't my glasses. I thought that was Roy, but it's Ray. Well, actually, I think it is Roy. And we go, hey, my brother. Yes, Roy. See, glasses makes a difference. Thank you, Sue. Yes, and Ryan. Is that Ryan or Rian? I think it's Ryan. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being patient. So my invitation, and Ricky sent me to she sent me what I'm about to say. She sent it to me telepathically because we're strong in it and with it. She said, hold the vision that everything works together for good. It's always working together for good. But if you're feeling like we can't hear Ricky, we didn't come to hear this guy talk. I want to hear the song. We want to just get strong in a holy, holy way. Just hold the vision. Hey Sharon, Chef Lori, Chef is in the house. Okay, I'm going. I'm going. Yeah. Um, this is like a flip flop, isn't it? Last week it was me on the phone doing the exact. Okay, well, it looks like I'm frozen now. Okay, well, exactly what I'm doing. Um, Sue, Ricky's calling you. So I'll just start like I'm the only one here, because I'm the only one you can hear right now. Good evening, good night, good morning, good afternoon, good day, good you. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling. This is called Revisited. with yours truly, well, it was with Ricky Byers and yours truly, Ade and I, your transformational guide, your self care specialist, also known as Life Coach Ade. So we're here. One mind, that's right, my brother. One mind. One mind. And Diana's in the house. Deanna, not Diana. Deanna, how was your trip? Hope you had a good time in Canada. Amira, I like that name. What does that mean? Amira in Idaho. Thank you, Sue, for doing what you do back there. Maxine is in the house. So it's when you're strong with it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is see, I had a note from last week, right? Things that I wanted to make sure I said because we're revisiting this getting strong with it. But guess what? I didn't pull it up today. I'm like, oh, I'm guessing Ricky's going to ask me questions. We already met, we talked, and I'm just going to. Thank you, Ryan. Let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right. Yes. I'm glad you had an amazing time in Canada, Deanna. Oh, are you still there or are you back? So I am going to, you know, I'm feeling something here, as I always do. That's what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, psychics and skeptics, physical beings and non-physical beings, join with me right now. Thank you, Ryan. Join with me right now, if you can, to just stop. And let's take a deep breath together. Take a deep breath. We're going to take another deep breath. Those of you who check out my video, it used to be daily videos, but it's not so daily anymore. But it's frequent enough. You know that we do this 3 times. So we're going to take another deep breath. Ready? Let's go. Now we're going to take another deep breath. This time, I invite you to let it be slow, let it be deeper, and just allow it to wash over you. See what I did there? All right, take a deep breath in slowly. Hold it. And slowly breathe out. Now you just went for a reset. How are you feeling? What are you noticing? Share what you noticed after taking a deep breath. If you did take a deep breath. If you didn't take a deep breath, you can say, oh, what's the point? I'm already breathing anyway, so why take another deep breath, or just let my body do what it does. Share what you notice. When I say notice, what you're noticing in your body. Do you feel relaxed? Do you still feel stressed? Do you feel like I didn't feel nothing? Share that. Because together we are stronger. Woo! I love it. It's rolling. See, once you tap in, it can start coming out. Together we're stronger. We're strong with it. So yes, I'm going to pull my notes now that I'm here we go. And Ricky is working on it. She'll join us. So, thank you. Thank you. Queen said, more grounded and connected to everything. Yep, you opened up something for me there. More grounded and open and connected to everything. You can't buy that. To be more grounded, to be more grounded and be connected to everything, it's free. So when you feel disconnected, when I feel disconnected, when we feel disconnected, we have quick access to connecting with all. Even if it's just connecting with the fact that you need to sit up straight, like Amira said. I've recognized that I need to sit up straight. I need to, because I notice I'm always sitting down working in the computer. So I kind of like, what's the word? Hunch my back, whatever. And then I have to remind myself, like, sit up straight, boy. What's wrong with you? And I have to sit up straight because doing that for such a long time, then my spinal cord would take us like, oh, we're supposed to curve over. We ain't doing that. We're standing up straight. Hey, Lona. Susan said, my feet feels more connected to the floor. I know all of this feels, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. For some people, they could feel like, oh, okay, yeah, so you're connected. But it's really true. I heard somebody say something about a few weeks ago. And she said, some people confuse peace with boring. Meaning, when they're in a peaceful state, they say, I'm bored. I'm bored. Because we've been triggered, we've been conditioned, we've conditioned ourselves, we've programmed ourselves to always have to do something. So just the awareness to have your feet more connected to the floor, you're present. Ryan said, more aware and mindful. Love is eternal. I like that. The grace of God. That's right. Marion said, relax. No matter what we're doing, we can always come back to our breath. and just take a moment. Because the beautiful thing is we are already connected. But if I allow the part of my mind right now that's saying, oh, what is going on? It's in the distance. It's not loud. Like, why is this happening? If you can have the thought, because this thought is always going to be thoughting. Your mind is going to do what the mind does. But if you recognize that, I want to say this differently, but I don't know if there's another word, that you are in control. That doesn't feel right, but maybe another word would come up for me. How about let's go? Since we're talking about in control, you're in tune with the great I am. So you give yourself permission to come back to the middle, to come back to the center, to come back to yourself. There is as a human being, a spiritual being, those two things, we experience it on different levels. We can say I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. We can say I'm a spiritual being and I'm a human being, and we can debate, no, you're spiritual. It really doesn't matter. What matters is whether you say you're a spiritual being and a human being, or a spiritual being having a human experience. It's all happening in one consciousness, in the God consciousness. And when we remember that we're in it, what's the name of one of the producers of B Radio who had a show, who moved to New York? His name is right there. Is it Mark? Sounds like it's a Mark. I can't remember now. If he's watching, it's like, you forgot my name. It's just been a while. I'm human and I'm spiritual. But he had a show called You're Soaking in It. I think that was the name. You're soaking in it. We are soaking in God. We're marinated in God. We're marinated in the truth of our being, and we are one with all things. And think about that. When you are one with all things, not just the one with the things that you say, oh, those are the nice, pretty, spiritual things. I'm one with that. But that other human experience, no, I'm not in touch with that. Oh, yes, you are. Or you can say, I'm only one with the good things. I can be one with the bad things. The minute you do that, you start munching, chowing down from the tree of good and evil. That creates separation. That creates anxiety. That creates judgment and criticism. But we choose to eat and feast on the tree of the knowledge of life. The knowledge of the tree of life. To say, you know what, everything belongs like a tree. The branches is necessary. The trunk is necessary. The roots are very important. Then it brings us to another place. It's like reprogramming the phone. It's reprogramming a computer. It's up-leveling your consciousness. It's upgrading your operating system. For me, being strong with it, when Ricky told me about it, I said, oof, I love it. And we just kept going back and forth, and I just had all kind of stuff coming through me. And the thing about, I'm pulling up my notes that I thought I did, but I opened the wrong document. The thing about strong with it, what it means for me, and I'll tell y'all a secret. See, when Ricky came up with this title, the theme, it wasn't something that she planned. She was just sending me a text. Let me take a cup of tea. Cheers. She was sending me a text several weeks ago to see if I could do last week's show. And while she was texting, and she wrote that, we're strong with it. She said, oh, I just came up with it. I like it. We're tapped in. We're in this. We're connected to this field of transformation, field of wisdom, field of love. So when we take a breath, we fine tune the connection, and we recognize that we're with it and we're in it. I like what Susan said here. When we are bored, let me read over here. We are searching for the next moment. When we're at peace, we're open. I'm going to read that again. When we are bored, we're searching for the next moment. when we are at peace, we are open. I feel that. I feel that. That takes me to different places. Hey, Edith, welcome. You know how there's this narrative, because that's what it is, a story, a narrative that's been told, and talking about now people don't want to read. People have a short attention span. They have attention span of a gnat, and we get so critical of ourselves. But what if we've been trained to have a short attention span? What if we've been programmed, mainly when you interact in social media? Every video now is like 10 seconds. Well, not every video, but you know what I mean. Most videos are like 10 seconds, 6 seconds. There was this social media thing called Vine. I think that was like 6 seconds. It's 6 seconds. So whether you're conscious of it or not, when you start watching things that are short and you go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and you're not aware, you're automatically programmed. Your mind is like, oh, that's what we're doing. So when things are longer, you're like, okay, I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess here. When things are longer, you'll be like, I got an email a few days ago, and I could just tell. I look at the first paragraph. I'm like, okay, second, and I scroll down. I was like, oh, that's long. I'll come back to it. You know, how many of us go back to those long emails unless it has to do with work, right? And we leave it to last minute. I have read that email. I need to go back. It's actually important that I read the email. It's connected to work-ish, something that I'm part of. But I was like, ooh, this is long. Because it's like we're looking for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And then we get back home at night, during the day, in the morning, like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. I don't even know what I did. Because that constant thinking, and trying to do the next thing just wears your behind out. And then we say, oh, I have an issue with focusing. I have a short attention span. Part of, everything is connected. We are being trained and programmed to just have just enough. You talk about the microwave society where we want it now. It's got to be done now. And we got to go back to the truth. I say we got to go back, but you don't have to. You have a choice. But there is a way to break out of that madness. Break out of the consciousness that hooks our attention and tells us what we need to do by taking a moment to just, doesn't matter if the show is live, take a moment to say, I need to look for my notes. And the voice is like, you can't stop. You got to keep talking. You're live. No, just stop. Look at the chat box. Come back to your mind. Alan said, big difference with being lonely and appreciating peaceful times. Yes, but if we don't cultivate that consciousness, when we don't tune in, we get tuned out. And when we're tuned out, we are disconnected. And then we say, I'm disconnected. I'm not good at meditating. Something is wrong with me. I'm not good enough. It just becomes the snowball of BS. It's just a lie, really. Snowball of a lie, illusion. But we do have the power to bring us back and remind ourselves that we are strong with it. When you join with it, and power and the strength sometimes looks like this. Sometimes it looks like waiting. Like knowing something is coming. Oh boy. I'm about to confess again here. Something about being a vessel for spirit, I find that chances are, let me say it like this: chances are your business is going to be put on the street. If any of you listen to Abraham Hicks, when Esther's channeling them, they tend to talk about things about Esther. Early age, I've been listening to Abraham Hicks now for over 15 years, maybe long, maybe 20 years. But the early stages, when her voice kind of sounded like this, if you go back to listen to those early stages, Esther's voice has changed. It's not just her, our voices change, right? But anyway, they'll be putting her business out. And now they talk about, she got many houses and she got this car. And I'm like, really? Wow. I want to have a life like that. But sometimes she start worrying about stuff and they talk about it. And I'm like, Esther still worries about stuff? It's like, hello. But anyway, so I end up talking about Esther too much that I've forgotten the point that I was going to say about myself. Great. I don't have to put my business out on the street. But so whenever you don't want to put your business out on the street, talk about something else that relates to what you're going to talk about, and then you won't have to do it. No, it's going to come back. I know it will, because Spirit's like, no, you don't get off that easy. Let's see. I saw something earlier. The big difference between lonely and appreciation. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. I'm hearing something. I want to know if I want to go there, and I'm going to go there. Everything is connected. So some of you have seen, if you follow me on social media, I'm part of a documentary called White Nanny. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah, White Nanny, Black Child. Now, you may have seen it, and you may have seen what I said about it. If you haven't seen it, if you've seen it for the first time, you're like, White Nanny, Black Child. Those two words. And Rickie's here. White and black. Let's see. Now we hear you, we don't see you.
Oh, you will see me in just a minute. I got to do this little bitty thing right here.
60, 59.
Yes! Can you hear me now?
Yay!
Yes, here's a shout out to Jermone Byers.
Oh, nice.
We found the problem. So
we found.
But I've been listening to you, and you are brilliant in your banter.
Yes, I'm a cup of tea. And everybody else in chat, I'm like, oh, thank God.
they are not saying that. I'm looking at my little hair. I'm taking out my little thing.
But they're all spiritual people. It's like, no, we're just sending you love and light.
Right. Oh yeah, send you love and light. Wait a minute.
I'll talk about my business later on. White.
What you talking about? White? No. Go on. Talk about the movie. This is a big deal. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Soul Fulfilling. Let's give a hand to life coach Ade.
And all the angels, the technical angels, and the ancestors who are good at making things happen.
Oh my gosh, we are so blessed.
Yes, I was gonna say play music, and then I'll tell you a story later. We want to hear.
Oh yeah, because the story is a good story, and it's it says a lot about a lot. So I'm gonna sing a little bit of this song, just so I can feel better about myself. Okay, I am blessed. I am blessed every day of my life. I am blessed when I wake up in the morning, lay my head to rest. I am blessed. I am blessed. Oh, you are blessed. Maxine, you are blessed. Eden, every day of our lives, you are blessed. Mickey, when you wake up in the morning, Brother Quinn, lay your head to rest. You are blessed. You are blessed. Edith, we are blessed. Hey, Alan, every day of our lives. We are blessed. Laverna, when we wake up in the morning, we lay our heads to rest. We are blessed. We are blessed. I am blessed. Life coach Ade, sing along with me. You sing. I am blessed. Rock with me, Sue. Every day of our lives, I am blessed. When I wake up in the morning, lay my head to rest, I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed.
And Sue ran out of there as soon as the song was over. I'm out. I'm blessed and I'm out.
Oh my God. I love that song. I love I Am Blessed because
Yes.
I Am Blessed just brings it back to a very simple, like they used to call in the old days when they called it a math class.
Mhm.
The least common denominator is that I am blessed, and if I can't remember that, I ain't going nowhere. Nothing gets better. Nothing
Mm.
gets better until there's some recognition of that we have enough to work with to get it to realize what it is that we came to know.
Yes.
That we have enough to work with to
Mm.
realize what we came to know.
Mm.
You know, and so that we will understand how the pieces fit. And so we're here. I really really do apologize. It was just a matter of changing some wires around. As is a very very sophisticated adapter, and things got to be like they wanted to be. They look like the same two kind of chords, but it just needed to be blue blue, and it made all the difference in the world. But I was listening to you, life coach Ade. Ade. See, I almost lost it, but I got it. I got it. I got it back. Buenos noches, Patricia Kingery. I'm just Lavon, welcome. I just wanted to welcome everybody into our chat. I think I got, oh man, it was so many people. Christwell and Ryan, Gwen Moore, Chef Lori. Look at here. You were romancing the everybody. Everybody loves a life coach. Ade and love is eternal. Who Marion Lewis Catherine was number one in the room. So we just want to welcome Chef Lori, by the way, went to Hawaii, came back looking like $1 million, and so did Maxine in the Bee Hood, lighting up the Bee Hood. They look so beautiful. Susan Cook is here watching live for the first time. Welcome, Susan, and everybody into the space. So as we continue in the conversation, that our who was supposed to have been the guest host, but that was the anchor host. I had to come in here and go, I didn't get to set you up. I didn't get to introduce you anymore. And, I just really am thankful that we are here now.
Yes,
Okay.
indeed. Ricky, can you go back to what you said about we're blessed? How did you say that we have it? You didn't say we have everything we need right now, or is that what you said? But
I said what I said was, if we have everything we need to realize what it is we came to know. It's
oh,
like today I've been I started last night, but I finished today writing a parole letter, a letter for a beautiful being that is and has been incarcerated for 13 years
wow.
for an unfortunate accident. It was an unfortunate accident. And she'd never had any kind of violation. I've heard of this kind of thing before, where somebody never had any kind of violation. They just was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and and it was it was very unfortunate what happened. And so I was writing a letter on her behalf, But the deal is like what I said in my letter was like, I remember this kid when she was 7. I remember when she was 7 years old. She was profound then. She's profound now. But what really proves how deep we are. It's how quick can we get to the place of gratitude and really understanding that right where we are, God is, that right where we are, we can gather our attention, no matter what the diagnosis, the prognosis, no matter what the situation, that we can stop. And if we can't stop, at least the people in this thread know that we can call somebody and say, can you help me stop? Can you help me stop? Can you just be with me right now and just pray for me or just breathe with me so that you can get back to center and understand that whatever it is, keep your eyes open and learn what it came to teach us, right?
Yes.
What it came to teach us. What we came to harm. You know, we got thrown in the fire and dying the Daniel's den. You know, it's like, well, how did I end up here, Lord? Yeah,
Yes.
you know, it's like, how did I end up here? It's like, hey, you know, what are you? Because it's time to learn. It's time for you to grow. It's time for you to grow other faculties that are going to help you help somebody else, you know. And the more we help people, the better we feel. The better, you know, it's just like it's just a good thing. So we have this beautiful man with us tonight who has had quite a journey and has a movie, has a documentary. Now wait a minute. Before we get a documentary, he just released his book. Yes, his book is so good. It's so good. What's the name of that book? Spiritual
Appetizers for the
for the
soul.
soul.
Right here.
Spiritual.
Oh, look at Sue. Oh, ooh, y'all upgraded since I left.
Oh yeah, we got it like that, my brother. We we've been work we've been working on some things.
I'm pulling it out, lifting this big book. Like, let me show it to you. Can you read it? And the Sue's like, nah, I got something better than that.
And those are his hands playing the drum, you know, playing the drum. Those are his hands. Blessed, he has blessed hands. We all have blessed hands. You got some, you know, you give thanks for those hands. That's that gratitude, giving thanks for what it is that we have, what we get to radiate this time and share and celebrate. So he's got his book. His book is doing quite well. Is that right, bruh?
Oh Lord, there's nothing like just looking in your bank account, like where that money, all this money come from? Like, oh, Amazon, why did they say them? Oh, my book. Thank you. It's like, well, I like this. I just got a notification today that some money is coming. I'm like, woo-hoo.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is a beautiful
It's
thing.
a beautiful
Absolutely.
it's a beautiful thing when you can feel the support of people,
Oh
you know.
my
And
goodness.
you know,
Yes.
and here's a shout out to people in the thread who support the B Hood, you know,
Hmm.
because when there's a notification, I just go like, wow. And I'm in
Yes.
the house, I'm going like, ha ha, and they're going like, what's going on? I was like, man,
Mhm.
somebody just said thank you and shared of their good with us, you
Yeah.
know, and because a lot of people don't, you know, a lot of people don't, but the people who do, and we really appreciate the way you give, you know, and the way it's been given. And thank you for supporting life coach Ade, who we talked about that book a lot here, and I read from it, and we love you and we love your works. And now you are on a roll, you know, with your new documentary, which is about your life, which is about the beginnings of your life and what it was like. And so just give us talk to us about this beautiful movie, and then we're going to get around to the stuff.
To the
No, no,
stuff.
no, no. We're gonna get around to more stuff.
More stuff. And
I
stuff
don't
and
know.
stuff
I,
and
I
stuff.
don't know. Already been through some stuff. I could hear the angels going like, "Well, she was gonna talk about stuff. Let's see how she deal with this stuff, right?"
You know, you said something about growth and what's the lesson, and I was laughing. I was trying to really contain myself because, you know, one thing that I have discovered and realized even more deeper is when we're praying to grow, to be more, to be a place for love, to be more willing
Yes,
for love,
yes,
in a way, we're inviting to be uncomfortable because growth is
Yes, thank you.
uncomfortable.
Many
You're
times.
expanding, you're stretching to allow yourself.
Mm.
Your heart is breaking open for more to come through, more
Mhm.
love,
Mhm.
more peace. You
Mhm.
can't be more loving in your little comfortable place.
Oh
You're
man.
gonna explode. Life has got to break you open like a seed so you can
Yes.
be more. And so this documentary is actually 9 of us who had the experience of being raised by a white nanny. It was back in the 60s, 1965. No, not actually, 1955 up to the 1990, somewhere around there. Our parents will come over. When I say our parents, Nigerian parents, and from West Africa, but this is focused on people from Nigeria, and they'll come over here to go to school for better quality of life,
Mhm.
work, and then
Mhm.
they have a time. They're going back. Of course, they came over here. They either the wife joined later on, and they came together. And our parents do what parents do, and we show up.
Mhm.
So we show up. They got to go to work. They're
Mhm.
trying to make some money. They
Mhm.
need somebody to watch their children.
Mhm.
They can't call a grandma because grandma is thousands and thousands and thousands, or their mother, miles away. So
Mhm.
there were white families. It was a private fostering. It wasn't regulated or anything. They were offering services to Nigerian children. Like, I'll take care of your kid. It was a transaction. So some of us were left. When I say some of us, I'm talking about the 9 of us were left. Some people were left there, like from most of us was fostered by in 2 months up until they stayed with the white family. That's all they ever knew.
Mhm.
Some eventually the parents came and basically took them out. My experience was, I was there. I was in Hastings, which is outside London. My parents were in London, and on the week, eventually they start alternating weekends. So on the weekend, my nanny will bring me to London, and the next weekend, my parents will come to Hastings. But I lived most of my time from 2 months up until 4 years old with my who I called my white aunt. I called her my Hastings mother, and I called my biological mother my London mother. So this documentary is about the impact. One is a story that's not told a lot. There had been one documentary called Farming. That's what they called it, Farming. In that documentary called Farming, people talk about it, but I actually haven't watched it because it's from what I've heard, it's like, you got to be ready. And what I was saying about growth and being uncomfortable, really, as I see it, all of this couldn't have happened unless I was back here in the UK.
Mhm.
When I came back to the UK, I was not trying to come back here, but Spirit had a different plan. It's like, yes, you're great, you love Atlanta, you feel at home, but it's time for you to go home where you were born
Yeah. Yes.
to heal the past in the present. So this documentary gave us an opportunity. It was actually a 5-day retreat where we got to look at the real struggles that we had, and which is quite universal. It's an issue about belonging and identity,
Mhm.
being raised in a white family, then having a brown parent, and all that came with that. Uh,
Mhm.
for some people, it was a traumatic experience because of what happened to them.
Mhm.
Most of us was pretty positive, but every one of us, whether you grew up in a house where there was a lot of love, or there wasn't enough love, or there was a lot of love and then there wasn't enough love, it leaves an imprint and
Mm.
shapes how we move through the world.
Yes.
And sometimes we're like, why am I still dealing with this? Why is this happening to me? Why is this only happening to me? Because there's something that wants to be seen. So the retreat it gave me an opportunity to look at things that I haven't voiced before, to
Mhm.
become aware, to just things that I've just buried,
Mhm.
and allowing that to come up, and also just giving voice to a story that wants to be told. This
Yeah.
is a
That right
bigger
there.
story, a
That part
story
right.
that wants to be told.
Yeah. That part
Because
right there.
being
Yeah.
Nigerian, the Nigerian story often gets um, made invisible through the Caribbean story. The African
Mhm.
story gets covered because people know about the Windrush when
Mhm.
people came from the Caribbeans to help
Mhm.
over here, and there's a lot of story about that. But the African story often gets left behind and
Mhm.
not seen. So I feel like the 9 of us, when you think of even 9, completion, where it's like generally there's a 9 months a woman give birth to, and there's a new life. We came together, the crews, the director, who's a great visionary, and all the crew and the people, the facilitators that took us through. I really believe we were listening to a deeper voice. We were listening to our ancestors. We were listening to parents who are no longer here. We
So
were speaking.
brother, I know you can talk, so you can go about 35 more minutes.
Absolutely.
But what I want to know
Hmm.
is, when can we see this brilliant film?
I know
That,
everybody's
that,
like,
that-
yeah,
that's
that's what I
about
want
this
to know.
brilliant. Everybody going like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now,
Right.
when can we see it?
Well, right now, as the director puts it, Andy, it's touring film festivals.
Hmm.
So for the rest of the year,
Okay. Hmm.
early next year is when it will be released. Generally, for people in UK, it's going to be on Channel 5, maybe September, October, November, somewhere around there. But
Hmm.
before everybody else can see it, well, basically have to wait till next year, which is just 6 months from now.
Is it a
But yeah,
full feature? Is it
yes,
40
it
minutes?
is. It's
Okay.
an hour and 30 minutes, and the screening, the premiere, you hit people were crying. People
Yes.
were crying because of it's just it was raw, it was authentic, it was real.
And it's about
Um,
you.
yes.
Look at you. Look, y'all better listen. Y'all better get your Love Ade sweatshirts right now while they're on sale, because he won't be able to, we won't be able to see him much longer. He's going to be a big old superstar, and then getting married and all the good things that come with that.
Yeah,
You know.
then let's get it now before next week they'll be hearing. I'm sorry, Ade's out of town right now. Do you want to leave a message? I'm sorry, Ade can't talk right now because that would be my
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What's your name? Sue who?
PA. Ricky Byers, it sounds familiar. I think he mentioned you about 2 years ago. No,
Say, oh,
it
tell
ain't
him
that
this
deep.
is Ricky.
Right, right.
Said, Ricky, please lose my number. Well, I'm proud of you. I'm really thankful that you got your movie up, because a lot of times we have conversation. I mean, everybody on this thread has a story.
Yeah,
Everybody has a story. I don't know anybody that has it. That I don't know anybody that I know that has the story that you just told. That's a very, very unique situation.
yeah,
But we have our stories. We have
you do.
our travels and our roads, our journeys. And I'm just celebrating you in telling yours and
Thank
sharing it
you.
with the world, and allowing uh, that story that, like you said, it needs to be heard. Like, who knew that?
Right,
That you got a little black boy in Germany,
right.
being raised by a family that looks nothing like him.
It was
And
actually in
and
London. My mom
and
was pregnant with me in Germany and then moved to UK, and London was where I was raised. But
that,
the story is not just my movie, it's
yeah,
actually another company, but there's a group of us
yeah.
that's part of this. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, well, that is your story plus the others, but you're the star for us.
Oh, I like that.
We go like, oh yeah, yeah. Get to a dead story.
Fast forward.
So we wait and look, Maxine. Don't be waiting for it on Netflix. I think it's going to be at the Landmark, at the Limley or something. But
Yeah.
we're gonna. But
I will take Netflix because that you know what that means.
yeah.
I am blessed. Netflix, come on.
Yeah, Netflix get a little bit more.
Mm.
Just you get it. It gets posted in front of a larger audience for
And
sure.
they make it rain.
Okay, okay, Rain Man, the Rain Man. So the yeah, and that now in this time in your life with your father, because we've spoken about your father and your father
Mhm,
being back in Nigeria now, and
mhm,
and going back there to see his family, to see his friends,
yes.
to do whatever medical things that came up for him, but that
Mhm.
he is using his years to do what the heck he wants to do, and you are going to do what? Let him, right?
Woo! It's a daily absolutely, and it's a daily process. Oh my God, it's a way to trust in a new way, to drop into the truth that God is all there is, that right where my father is, God is, right where I'm at, God is, ain't no need to trip. I can
And
just trust.
and for
Yeah.
those of us who are with parents that are still alive,
Hmm.
and sometimes, you know, th- like when I look back over my years with my mom, like when I think about some of the times, and I was reading something today, by the way, with regards to this, but let me stick with this point. It's like she would want to be doing all kinds of stuff that I consider total foolishness. I
I
was
love
like,
you.
"Mom, you know what that's going to do to you? Why are you doing that?" And not only was she doing it, she was being supported in it by half the people on this thread who would be taking her to Popeye's chicken, while I'm up there buying, romaine salad, trying to keep something, trying to keep this trying to keep this ethic of health, But looking back on everything, I think I learned to say, allow her, let her do what she does, not try to change her way of being. But I would be giving the evil eye to Mary Sherman Jones and them, I'm going like, "Mm,"
Mhm.
Giuseppe was one of the main ones. But she loved Popeye's chicken. She loved to go eat what she loved to eat. Yum yum. But you're
Mhm.
talking about the money coming to you.
Shoyinka, yes, my dear
Ricky, I
sister.
won't lose your number. That's so late.
Oh God.
But she, listening to learning from my teachers on the internet too,
Mm,
and that whole thing about let we don't have to control everybody. We can't control everybody. We gotta bless people to make their own decisions for the way for what they want to do. And I feel like that's been a big one for me. I think I've been
mhm.
I feel like I've been trying to control the whole world in certain times in my life. And
Yes.
that now at this phase, I can go like, let people do what they need to do.
Mhm.
Like they don't need to do things for me to show that they're with me,
Mhm.
or care for the things that I care about. You know, they need to do they need to live their life, and I need to allow them to do what's theirs. And especially when we're talking those of us who are caregivers, or you find your way you find you have the incredible journey that leads you to taking care of a parent. It's like, wow. And we just, we want more for them. We want them to be here. We want them to see things our way. Sometimes if we're not as wise,
Yes.
or not as calm inside or whatever, you
Mhm.
know. And I think I was great with my mother, but there was so much more that I wanted her to do. And my mom was so cool. She was like, mm-mm.
I want my chicken.
When she was
Get
in
get that over.
in the last days, I would get her chicken,
Mhm.
but in the very last days, she didn't even want the chicken.
Mhm.
And I would go like, "Don't you want some chicken?"
Mhm.
At that point it's like, I just want you to be here.
Mhm.
I don't care what you're eating. I just want you around. I
Yes.
just want you around, you know.
Yes.
And it was like, no, she didn't say no, but I could see that she was making her way home.
Mhm.
And praise God for our journeys, all of them, that lead us right to this place of knowing that life is so much more than what we subscribed it to it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely. Being in relationship is enrolling in learning about love. It's learning how much. When do I let go? When do I hold on?
Yeah.
And it's a constant back and forth. Now, if we're dealing with conditional love, it's like if you love me, you let me do this for you. Conditional love, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But unconditional love, you really want to practice it. It's like, can I love you enough to let you make the choice that you believe is good for you,
Yeah.
even if I think I know more than you know?
Yeah. 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 Oh
Yeah.
my God. You are so on with that one though. Cause I know more than everybody. In my
Yes.
family, I know I have been the pain in the butt in
Mm,
my family, because it's like, well, like my sister, I've shared this before, like when I was afraid of dogs for a long, long, long time. And then when I finally got a pet, I got a fierce pet. I mean, this girl was mean, and she was a puppy. I think she might have given Lisa Michelle a little bite when she was a puppy.
A little bite.
But,
I'm
but,
sure Lisa Michelle did not call it a little bite. You might call it a little bite. She didn't think it was little.
but because I didn't know anything about dogs, and one thing about it, I ain't, I ain't stupid. I'm like, well, you ain't know nothing about a dog. You need to take a dog training class.
Mm.
You don't need to just be with a dog for 20 years not knowing nothing about dogs. Work with a dog trainer and learn how to be with this pet that's yours, that's got all these breeds. She was Rottweiler, Pit Bull, and a Shepherd. And she was a great dog. She was a great dog. She was a great protector. And I needed a protector in those days. I needed to feel a physical protector around me. I knew the angels were watching over me. I knew that I walked with God, but there was something that made me feel substantially secure having the dog, especially with two little kids, right? But it was like at some point, I forgot my point.
We were waiting on that point. We were holding on. So your sister, something about your sister.
Oh, yes. So I went back to the South, right? So when I go back to the South, I got all this knowledge, right? It's like, and I know, I'm talking about, and we do this and we walk. I said, you can't do that. And my sister goes like, now she know dogs.
Luke is all brand new.
Yes.
He's all brand new now.
Now she know dogs. And now she know dog. I was like, that was a real dig. Now she know dogs. And I was like,
That's loaded.
now she know dogs. She know about everything. Now she know about dogs. But I've known a lot. In my family, I brought the health tips that I've known, but it was Rajneesh. I found these books that I had thrown away. I still got a bunch of them, and I'm going through them again. Some of these books are good. I'm glad I didn't throw them away. But there was this one book by this guru that a lot of people feel was very, very crazy. But this book is called, I'm doing the Ade, the Book of Secrets. And he talks about love in this book in a way that I never heard him talk about it. And I love Rajneesh because he's wild, man. And he talked about love. And you're going to like this, Ade. You're going to like this. How am I doing with your name?
You're doing good.
Okay.
It's all about love. It's all about love. Continue.
It's all about that lie.
No,
but
love, not lie.
he said something about love. And you said this when you were talking about love just breaks you open. That really touched me when you said it just breaks you open. And Bobby Caldwell said it makes you do for love what you would not do. Like love makes you do for love what you would not do. It's like it's not rational sometimes what we do in because we're in love, that we've fallen out of just the lockstep way of being. We can't do sometimes the thing. It's just like because your heart is on fire. Your heart is here. Your heart is open. It's you're feeling things that you never felt before. And he went on to say that in that tone, that when we love and we give and we share, we want to do for that person what would make them happy, what we think they like. We want to give them things that they think that they would like. And I was like, that was never me. I mean, not as a lover, but I mean as a giver. It was like I always got the stuff that I liked. Like I was in my life, when I found something that worked for me, I wanted everybody to know about it. And I kind of like wanted everybody to do it because I wanted them to live and be happy. I wanted them to be strong. I didn't want to see people eating pork and eating all the stuff that I knew would make them sick. But looking back over that stuff, I'm glad I did what I did the way I did it. But from this point on, they can eat what they want to eat. They just can't eat it around me.
And it all fades into God.
Yeah. And maybe 5 years from now they can eat it around me, and I'll just be like this. How you enjoying that? What's up, Mickey Maxwell? You know that's funny.
Now she knows about pork.
No, I'm like, oh my gosh, it stinks. But when it was ham, I loved it. But it's at some point, I got that was not good for me. And you want to hear what I'm into now, y'all? Y'all want to know my latest?
Yeah. Oh, before you say that, because we want to hear it. Kimberly, I need to tell Kimberly, oh, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
What did Kimberly say?
When you said something about, how did you say, you know what the point is? And you looked to the side, and I was waiting, like, what's the point? I was like, did she freeze? I was looking at you. I'm like, oh no, she's moving. And I was like, okay, what's happening? And then she said I was holding my breath, waiting for the point. And I was trying, you moved on, and I was trying so hard not to. I was too, like, okay, we're waiting.
Well, you helped me get back there, because I was like, why did I start this story? That's why you should surround yourself with younger people, because younger people will help you get back to the point quicker than older people.
Well, you need the ones that are paying attention, though.
Well, yeah, definitely. Hi, Kimberly Lovelace.
What's the new thing you're into? Because that's the point you're going to make.
Oh, the thing.
You said you're into new thing. You were trying to tell us something.
Yeah, the new thing is berries, cherries, and melons.
Berries, cherries, and melons.
So I'm eating a lot of fruit. Berries, berries, cherries, blackberries, blueberries, strawberries. And I used to couldn't eat strawberries, but now I can. For some reason, my body's receiving strawberries. So, and they're not making my joints flare up. And maybe because my stomach and everything got clear and clean enough, But I feel great. And then an occasional cooked meal. So maybe one cooked meal a day, and something that's really good. But and I'm saying and greens, leafy greens. So avocado, leafy greens, stuff like that. So good strong salads, and I'm not calling it any kind of just to live it. Just something.
Right.
I mean, it's good
Right.
for me. Something was happening with my leg that, when I stand up, it just felt like it was like a little cramp or something. And so what I know is that something I ate made it happen, and something that I ate, something else that I can eat can make it go away. That and the supreme inspiration of the Holy Spirit, filling my heart with joy and divine acceptance of this beautiful time in life where things happen all the time. But you get to dance and listen and adjust accordingly. Adjust accordingly. Can I sing a song?
Absolutely. Coach? Yes, we're waiting for it.
Okay, this song, and this celebrates you. This celebrates this time in your life with so many good things happening. And this celebrates everybody in the thread, because, and this is one of my favorite songs. I sing it a lot because it's a great song. There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. Oh, one love, there can only be God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Oh, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom, a knowing, a loving, and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Oh, just say until it shows. I will pray and I won't move until I know that I walk in the love of God. Why? For see it, and I know in my heart, yes, the power and the glory and the love of God is everywhere. Feel it, it's everywhere. See it, it's everywhere. And know in your heart, yes, I walk in the love of God. So let's take a deep breath. And whatever it is we're moving through, whatever the world around you is looking like, it's the world around me too. It's crazy out there in the world sometimes. But right there in the midst of all of it, amid the chaos, right there in the center is an opportunity for us to respond, knowing that we walk in the love of God and that we can respond. There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. Oh, one love, there can only be God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Oh, yes, I walk in the love of God. We walk in the love of God. Oh, yes, we walk in the love of God. Yeah. Hey, Charles Holt just came in the room. Come on in, Charles. Say hello. I think we're going into the after party now.
Charles Holt walked into the room with the love of God.
Yeah, that's Charles Holt in the room, in his house. Thank you, Abigail. I want to make this song my mantra. Yeah. We walk in the love of God. Yeah, you can put this on and say hello. And that's, you should have been on. Got that chicken on your breath, bro.
Oh God, Ricky.
I just ate some berries, some cherries,
and some melons.
And some chicken.
That was about 4 hours ago.
Yeah, still with you, bro. Say hello to everybody. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, everybody. I was watching upstairs and I couldn't help it. I had to come and be in the room where it's happening.
It's live.
It is. Okay, I'm gonna give this back because Ricky says I'm still reeking of chicken, so I'm gonna go.
Well, it could be pork.
He came in. Charles Holt is visiting his friends in New York, in LA, and staying as my guest this week. And I'm sorry, Charles, that I didn't fix no breakfast for you. Nothing. You know, it's like Rajni said, you're supposed to give people prepare food that they would love. I was like, he can have some cherries and some berries and some melons.
And some chicken.
And some chicken.
Because you didn't cook for him, so he helped himself.
He came in there with that chicken. I was like, bro, you can take that up there. You can go, you eat that.
Ricky, it could have been pork. He could have brought some pork.
He's saying you could have bought some pork.
Oh, I don't do pork now.
He said, "Oh no, we're not doing that."
Sorry.
I'm thankful for this evening. I'm thankful for the presence of friends, good friends. I'm thankful for this consciousness that allows us to love, the consciousness in us that's awakening us, shaking us,
Absolutely.
to tell our stories, the real story of who we are, the real story, the story that brings us back to love,
Yes.
because that's where we came from.
Absolutely.
And so I invite you to take this with you into the rest of your week, your evening, or however long it lasts with you. And we're going into the after party because we ain't ready to stop. And God bless. Let your joy be so triumphant that you rest in God and say,
Ade.
Amen. Ain't you so
I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Oh, I'm so glad Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lifted me. Oh, when I was in trouble, Spirit lifted me. When I was in trouble, Spirit lifted me. Singing glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. When I was feeling lonely, Spirit lifted me. When I was feeling lonely, Spirit lifted me. Oh, when I was feeling lonely, oh, Spirit lifted me.
Glory, hallelujah. Spirit lifted me. That's a bad song. When I was in trouble, what lifted me?
Spirit.
Yeah, the original words wasn't quite that, but Mama was trying to. She didn't want to. She wanted to keep it universal.
Yes, she wanted to keep with that
She
consciousness
wanted.
of
She
where
wanted.
she
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
She's
She
like,
learned.
she said, I know what I'm saying. I'll say what makes you
Yeah,
feel
yes,
in
she did.
alignment.
Yes, she
Yes.
did. That's what she
Hmm.
did. That she gave the gift of that kind of love and everything. Somebody in there sent a comment that said, "I love Popeye chicken." When I used to eat, well, I don't want to start talking about Popeye's chicken, which was really the best chicken on the planet. When I turn 98 years old, I'm going to go back to eating Popeye's
Oh,
chicken.
I thought when you turned 98 years old, I'm like, what is she talking about? When did that happen? Where was I?
No, when I do,
Oh, when you do. Okay.
when I do.
Okay.
But so is Sue in the room with us?
Well, Sue's coming. I want to say something about Mama Byers and watching her during the live stream at Agape. And someone from, I don't know if it's necessary, well, my understanding, you can correct me, just coming from that place of that wisdom of Christianity. And when she got on stage and got to a place where she, use language that people in agape will feel comfortable with. So sometimes instead of using Jesus, she used spirit. And I think one song she sang one time and she said Buddha. For me, it was just like, wow, how beautiful. Because some of us get so set and stuck in, I don't use that word. Sometimes it's because of the experience that they've had, particularly when we talk about Christianity here. People have been traumatized, feel let down by Christianity. But for me, it was beautiful to watch her say, yeah, I know what I grew up with. I can say Buddha, I can say Jesus, I can say spirit, I can say the divine. I mean, when you walk in the love of God, words don't really matter. What matters is the energy behind the words. And I feel like she exemplified that and just came from that place of love and truth. And it's just beautiful, man. There's lessons everywhere. Lessons everywhere. Ricky, you talking to us? Because you're not on the screen, right? Or you're talking to somebody else?
Yeah. Well, I was sending a link to Charles
Oh,
Hope so that he could join us.
oh, nice.
In the room because
Mm-hmm.
he was sitting on the couch over there, but I know he couldn't hear anything.
Mm.
So I'm going like, you need to be working.
Earn your living.
Earn some keep around here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I've grown a lot just with with the emerging and emerging expansion
Mm-hmm.
into teachings beyond New Thought.
Mm-hmm.
Ways of worship beyond New Thought.
Mm-hmm.
And because New Thought New Thought is they used to call it New Thought Christianity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we're talking about the words of Jesus, but making it a more universal tongue.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we do a lot of talk about that name, but I'm more interested in that way. New Thought
Mm-hmm.
Christianity, that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's like what is because I think when you get to making it a more, let me see, why
I
is that?
think I think I think Charles was listening on a different platform, right? Yeah.
Okay. But he's not in the room. He's in a different
No,
room.
yeah. Well, no, I think he was listening different, but now he's on.
Now he's good. Now he's
Yeah.
good. But it's like, but it's like, and you said it. It's like it's the intention.
Yes.
It's the intention that makes all the difference in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think we get sometimes, and I think I got caught up, and I'm the one, that know everything. But I got kind of caught up on the name coming from somebody else's mouth
Mm-hmm.
that didn't sound like what I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes right back to the food, the things that I like to eat, the things that it's like it was my world. Like I'm getting to see the kind of, I know, I see a frown in your brow, Ade,
Oh.
but it's not like I'm not like beating up, but I'm just becoming more aware
Mm-hmm.
of the way a person can be in the world, the way I've been in the world. And now that I'm around so many younger people and I'm watching what they're choosing and how they're doing it and how they're doing what they do, it's like, I'm going like, wow, wow, this is amazing. That a person can have an idea too.
That's different from yours.
Yeah, it's different from mine. That I
Mhm.
share the world. I know we share the world. But do we always have that space? What you think about Charles and Sue?
I think we do. I think we're all divine. Before I say that, congratulations, Ade, on
Right.
all of the
Thank
things
you.
that are happening and everything that that's coming to and through you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You saying his name wrong though. It's Ade.
Ade.
Yeah.
It's okay, Charles. It's okay. It's all love.
We're so proud. We're so happy for you.
Thank you.
I think just I think there is something to be I think there's something to be learned from each and every living thing. I don't like mosquitoes. I don't.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Well,
but
who
there
likes
is
mosquito?
but there is something
Frogs.
about mosquito. The thing that I learned about mosquitoes is that they're food for one of my favorite insects. I love dragonflies, and dragonflies
Mm,
eat mosquitoes. It's a big part of their diet.
Mm.
So I
mm.
think, okay, that gives me, I can deal with mosquitoes now.
So I need to go get a bunch of a whole group of dragonflies.
I'm
Zup.
telling you, anywhere you find mosquitoes, there's gonna be some dragonflies around because they find them.
Yeah, they
They
do.
eat they eat dragon. I
They
mean,
ain't eating them fast enough, and
they eat. That's because certain mosquitoes, like the Asian tiger mosquito,
oh
they,
Lord.
they lay their eggs um on they lay their eggs under the water, under the
Uh-huh.
surface.
Uh-huh.
So the dragonfly skims the surface of the water. That's
Ah.
how they eat these mosquitoes and the eggs. But the Asian tiger is so smart
Mhm.
that they put their eggs under. She puts her eggs under
Oh,
the
she's like the politicians.
yeah, I mean they're brilliant. And also the other thing is the Asian tiger is the the Asian tiger mosquito.
You're gonna have to get off these mosquitoes, boy.
Okay, but okay. So the Asian tiger mosquito is so fast that by the time they sense that they're about to be swatted, they move.
Yeah,
They're harder to.
like the politicians. They've studied the way of the Asian tiger mosquito.
They have. They have.
I just learned something about those Asian tigers mosquitoes. I didn't know any name of a mosquito.
They're all the same. Sorry, happy birthday.
But he says I don't like mosquitoes, but he know everything about them.
I don't know I'm saying that. But that's the thing of we're changing that, right? It's like some things that we don't like. Sometimes we got to open our heart to learning more about them. And we realize, oh, they're actually food, mosquitoes, Popeye's chickens to my favorite insect. So you get to really understand that.
Well, check it out. My mom could not stand a fly. And she passed that hatred for flies down to all of her great grandkids, and they all like, I can't stand a fly. I was like, oh my God, my mom's cursed a whole generation. So now, but I learned how to catch a fly. And you catch a fly with a glass. You know how to do it, Ade?
Well, not to catch a fly. Spiders, I use like a glass or something. Flies, I say, go on out. Going out. I'm going to tell you 3 times.
But if they don't go out, and I mean, rather than swat the fly or gigantic water bug that might just show up from anywhere, you know, you get a glass and then you slip a piece of paper under the glass and then you take it outside. You know,
how do you catch the fly though?
So like a fly lands on the glass, like you got to, it's got to be on a surface, and usually they're on a glass trying to get out. You know. And so,
I see what you mean.
So you take the glass and put it over the fly. You know, do it gently. You don't want to break the glass and the window or whatever.
And smash the fly. Break the glass, back the window, smash the fly.
And then you slip a piece of paper underneath the glass.
Right.
You know, so you got the fly in the glass, and then you just take it out. I mean, I can do that. I am the fly whisperer. And they love me so much they come back in the house again. You know, and I was like, we named the fly, you know. But anyway, my grandson goes like, Grandma, he's right back in here again. But my mother used to have one of those electrocution ones.
Yep.
Oh,
they get toasted.
It was horrible. It was just horrible. So, you know, but yeah. So the flies, I've learned how not to kill so quickly. How not to kill so quickly, you know. What about you, Sue? What you can talk about anything you want to. We've covered documentaries featuring Ade and a tribe of folks. We've talked about his book. We've talked about mosquitoes. We've talked about dogs.
It's been like a wild kingdom here, you know.
Oh yes.
It's all good. Well, you know, there was something you said. Of course, I can't remember all of it now. In the beginning, you were talking about situations getting yucky and just all this stuff was going on, and I thought about when you're in the thick of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's intense and you're like, what am I going to do? You know, of course, I'm thinking something else in my head right now, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it all works out. And then you say, someday we're going to sit back and laugh about this. I find that happening a lot lately, and you know, as I'm getting a little bit older, something will come past my mind and it'll be like, shh, and I laugh. I laugh. So out of that craziness, out of that scariness, I'm still laughing about it. So it turned into a good memory, just all part of the adventure. And so it's I don't know, there was a lot of things you said tonight. You were talking about hands raising up, and I don't know. I just started thinking about how hands fit together. I love on Sunday when we do Blessed Be, and somebody reaches out, and somehow that hand always
blessed always.
Blessed always, yeah. the hands just somehow always fit together.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how big or small, or some vibrate more, but the hands fit together. So we're
Yeah.
spreading the love. I mean, it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the joy of a real live gathering. And last Sunday we had the grace and the privilege to
Mm.
have Charles Holt there in live in the B Hood, and he lit it up.
Oh,
He
they were loving
lit
him. Yeah.
it up because that's what he does.
Mm.
You know, that's what he does, and it was really beautiful to do Blessed Always at the end. So when the show posted, it cut off at a certain point. I want you to know that the whole devotional is up now. We've reposted it so that you got all the moments. And I want to thank you, Charles, for coming to LA to be in the B Hood with us. You know, it was so special, and it was the first time that we've ever featured a guest, a guest singer like that, and it was good. You know, people loved it. You know, I want to
People
thank.
loved it, and Safi did. I love Safi's response when you
Yeah.
introduced and said you told her who she said, "Oh," and she literally just like, "Oh my God."
Oh my God, he's the one that sings "I Forgive Me."
Yes,
It
was beautiful.
really moved her. You know,
Mhm.
it
You could
really
feel
moved
that.
her. You know,
Yeah.
Cheryl Polsky is here. She was there, and uh, yeah, and we're just very fortunately blessed to be able to gather and feel each other's hands and say thank you, God. You know, and for those of you who can't be in the place, we will be live this coming Sunday, back to 10:30, from 10:30 to 12:30 in the B Hood. Those of you um, who would like to hear music 24/7, go to B Radio. B Radio is pumping these days. The music is so good. And I don't talk about it enough. Go to bradio.org and you can hear incredible music 24/7. Very good. Some new things I've heard that I haven't heard before. So that's all I got to say is that I love you. Keep living your best
Vicky,
life.
before you end, I want to just say this. I mean, it's obvious, but I'm filled and full of gratitude right now and thankful for this space to be able to do something like this. It just seems like people come together and just talk, but it raises the vibration. It changes my state to have this conversation. It's a medicine that my soul just dance. So thank you for this space. Thank you for what you do, Sue. Thank you for joining us, Charles, and the people who are watching. Together, we're creating a new world. We're activating love and just something so simple. We get our
Yeah.
little laptops out, trustfully they work on time, and
Yeah.
everything does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And we have this, and I think that's why it's easy to miss sometimes because it doesn't seem like a big production. We
Yes.
just think, oh, I'm just coming out to this but it's just as big as any production.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
And
it.
it keeps going and keep going, and people feel like, oh, I'm so grateful. I look forward to Wednesday. I just want to tell everybody, remember this moment and what you get from this moment and what's brought up, what you're in touch with, because it matters. It is holy. It is sacred. So thank you, Ricky, for this space.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
I love you too.
Yes, I love you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for being with us tonight. God bless.
Have a great week. Have a great
Yes.
week.
Let our joy be so triumphant that we reign.